This is the story of three friends, fed up with their lives, who suddenly find themselves transported to a strange new city. This city is completely deserted, devoid of any other people. To remain in this city, they require a visa, which comes at a steep price. They must participate in deadly games that put their lives at risk. Refusal to play means certain death. Will they be able to save their lives from this deadly world? Let's find out. The story begins by introducing us to Arisu, an exceptionally skilled gamer who's never lost a game. He also possesses a wealth of knowledge about mathematics and cars. Arisu lives with his father and older brother. Despite his knowledge and skills, Arisu is unemployed, leading his family to view him as a good-for-nothing. Feeling alienated at home, he sets out to meet his friends. His first friend, Chishiya, works at a bar, but is fired by his boss for having an affair with the boss's wife. Then there's Karub, his second friend, whose life is consumed by a corporate job, with his mother taking a significant portion of his earnings each month. The lives of these three friends are filled with dissatisfaction and frustration. However, when they get together, they forget their worries and find solace in each other's company. One day, while drinking, they jokingly wish for a zombie apocalypse, hoping for a chance to restart their lives. Lost in their playful banter, they cause a car accident in the middle of the road, drawing the attention of the police. They manage to escape and hide in the bathroom of a nearby building. Suddenly, all the lights go out, and an eerie silence descends upon them. They venture outside to find the entire city deserted. No animals, no humans, not even lights, except for a single building with lights on. The building has a sign that reads Game Area. As they approach, laser beams activate, and they find a collection of phones. Upon picking up the phones, the locks automatically unlock using their facial recognition. They discover game rules and instructions on the phones, and a timer begins to count down. A girl, who seems to be familiar with this strange world, appears. She throws Chishiya's ID card outside the gate, where it's instantly incinerated by the laser beams. She warns them that anyone attempting to leave without playing the game will meet the same fate. Another player, a college student, joins them. Their first game is titled Dead or Alive, with a difficulty level of 3 of clubs, referencing a playing card. They enter a room with 2 doors labeled Dead and Live. They are told that choosing the wrong door will result in their deaths. Chishiya, still unconvinced of the seriousness of the situation, records everything on his phone. Suddenly, gas begins to fill the room, forcing them to make a quick decision to avoid being burned. The girl suggests they choose the live door. The college student, acting impulsively, opens the live door and is instantly killed. The girl then opens the dead door, and they all manage to escape, shaken but alive. The gravity of the situation finally dawns on them. They enter another room with 2 more doors, and Chishiya, surprisingly, chooses the correct door, leading them to safety. In the next room, Arisu, relying on his sharp memory and observation skills, remembers a map of the building with 7 rooms. He deduces that they need to choose the inner door to escape. They enter the inner room and find themselves back in the room with the live door. Arisu rewinds Chishiya's recording and notices that when the college student opened the live door, there was no laser beam present. They quickly open the live door before the timer runs out, narrowly escaping death. Chishiya, however, is injured in the process. They successfully complete the game, marked by a 3 of clubs card. Their phones display a message granting them a 3-day visa. The playing cards are connected to the games. Spades represent games of physical strength. Clubs represent teamwork. Diamonds represent intelligence and strategy. And hearts represent games that require betrayal. The true meaning of the visa becomes clear when they witness a man being killed by a laser beam. His visa had expired. They realize that they must continue playing these deadly games to extend their visas and survive. They find refuge in a house to tend to Chishiya's injuries. They notice a working radio amidst the deactivated electronic devices. The girl from earlier reveals that she's been trapped in this world for 3 days and has already survived 2 games. They speculate on the sudden disappearance of the city's inhabitants. Arisu and Karub decide to participate in another game that night, hoping to find a player who is a doctor to treat Shishiya's worsening condition. They return to the game building, where they encounter 13 other players. Among them is a white-haired boy charging a peculiar device, and a skilled mountain climber who prefers solitude. The next game is called Tag, with a difficulty level of 5 of spades, signifying a physical challenge. They must evade a masked sniper to survive. The objective is to find a button within the building that will end the game. They have 20 minutes, or the entire building will explode. The players scatter to search for the button. The white-haired boy, positioned on the roof, waves to the players, attracting the sniper's attention. The sniper, wearing a horse mask that limits his peripheral vision, begins firing indiscriminately. Arisu, observing the sniper's limited vision, informs the other players. Using pipes, they climb to the upper floors to search for the button. Arisu encounters a player named Aguni, a trained firefighter. Aguni devises a plan to distract the sniper while his partner takes him down. However, Aguni betrays his partner, waiting for the sniper to run out of bullets before killing him. He then uses a gas grenade to attack the sniper. Arisa finds himself in a room with 2 buttons that must be pressed simultaneously. He calls out for help, and Usagi, the mountain climber, comes to his aid. Together, they manage to disable the sniper using the white-haired boy's device and press the buttons just before the timer runs out, saving everyone. The sniper's mask is removed, revealing a woman. She was also a player tasked with killing the others. A playing card attached to her neck explodes, killing her. Arisu and Usagi communicate through walkie-talkies, searching for a beach. The white-haired boy discovers a piece of paper with lines on it in the dead woman's pocket and keeps it. Back at the house, Karub deciphers the message from the walkie-talkie. They need to find a beach. Shishiya and the girl, their visas expiring, are forced to play another game called Hide and Seek. They wear special glasses that allow them to scan each other's faces. The game has a difficulty level of 7 of hearts, meaning betrayal is key. One player is designated as the wolf, and the others must avoid being found by them. After 15 minutes, only the wolf will survive. Shishiya, overwhelmed by the thought of losing his friends, attempts to remove the explosive card from his neck, but is stopped by Arisu. Arisu becomes the wolf and hides in a garden, hoping to survive the 15 minutes. However, Karub finds him, leading to a confrontation. Arisu, witnessing the fight, intervenes but accidentally becomes the wolf himself. Karub and the girl turn on him. Shishiya, filled with regret and remembering their past friendship, urges Arisu to escape. Arisu, heartbroken by the situation, flees, leaving his friends behind. In the final seconds of the game, Karub sacrifices himself by allowing Arisu to become the wolf again, ensuring his survival. Arisu watches in horror as Karub's card explodes, killing him. He is devastated by the loss of his friend. The next day, Usagi finds Arisu collapsed on the road and takes him to her home. She explains how she helped him in the game and why she's helping him now. She shares her own story of how her father, a renowned mountain climber, was falsely accused of suicide by the media after his death. She emphasizes the importance of living life to the fullest and fighting for survival. Her words inspire Arisu, and he resolves to find the mastermind behind these deadly games and avenge his friends' deaths. With their visas expiring, Arisu and Usagi venture into a tunnel and encounter 3 other players who have already won 3 games. They participate in a game called Distance, with a difficulty level of 4 clubs requiring teamwork. They have 2 hours to reach a designated location, or they will be killed. They attempt to drive a bus, but it's out of fuel. They decide to run instead. One of the players, injured, is unable to keep up and urges the others to leave him behind. As they run, they encounter a black panther that devours one of their companions. Arisa discovers a motorcycle with fuel, but no battery. He decides to take it back to the bus, hoping to provide fuel for the injured player and help him escape. Usagi and another player reach the end of the tunnel, only to find a water barrier that will flood the tunnel as the game ends. The player with Usagi sacrifices himself to save her. Arisu arrives with the motorcycle just in time to pull Usagi onto the bus before it's submerged. They survive the game by clinging to the top of the bus as the water recedes. They notice a goal painted on the bus, realizing they were inside the goal all along and had already won the game. Arisu and Usagi discuss the need to find the mastermind, the game master, and the possibility of other survivors. They spend days searching, eventually noticing a pattern among the players who survive. They all wear a peculiar watch. They follow a car carrying these players and end up at a luxurious hotel, a stark contrast to the desolate city. They are captured and brought before a man called Hatter, who claims to be the king and knows the way back to the real world. He reveals a wall adorned with playing cards, explaining that those who win games bring him the cards, and whoever collects all the cards can return to the real world. He forces Arisu and Usagi to participate in another game. They encounter Aguni and the white-haired girl at the game location. The game requires them to kill 4 wild animals: a tiger, a panther, and 2 eagles. Aguni's team, armed with weapons, easily completes the task. Usagi's team is tasked with finding a number in a dark building using only 9 matches. They succeed, and Arisu is then tested by a surgeon from the king's group to assess his abilities. The next game is called Light Bulb, with a difficulty level of 4 of diamonds, emphasizing intelligence. Players stand beneath electrical transformers as water fills a tunnel. They must determine which switch will activate a light bulb in a closed room. A girl is electrocuted while trying to figure it out. Arisu, using his ingenuity, solves the puzzle, correctly identifying switch B. The surgeon already knew the answer, but chose not to reveal it. Arisu returns to the hotel, now a member of Hatter's group. Hatter's visa is about to expire, and he announces his intention to participate in another game. Aguni, sensing an opportunity, signals his companions. The following morning, Arisu and Usagi inquire about the fate of those who return to the real world. The answers are grim. They might face another game or be killed by a laser beam. Suddenly, gunshots erupt. They witness Aguni's men disposing of bodies. The white-haired boy, Chishiya, reveals Aguni's plan to kill Hatter and seize control. He proposes a plan to steal Hatter's cards and escape. Chishiya sends Arisu to steal the cards from Aguni's safe, but the password he provides is incorrect. Aguni's men catch Arisu, but Chishiya realizes the cards are hidden behind a painting of a stag. Arisu's visa is about to expire. Chishiya successfully retrieves the cards and escapes with his companion. As they flee the hotel, they realize the hotel itself is the game arena, and everyone inside is a player. An announcement declares a murder has taken place, and the players must find the killer within 2 hours and burn them outside the hotel to end the game. Players suspect Chishiya's companion, but the surgeon intervenes. Aguni arrives and orders his men to kill everyone, hoping to end the game by eliminating the killer. Chaos ensues. Usagi finds Arisu. The surgeon determines the killer's identity through fingerprint analysis. On the roof, Chishiya confronts Aguni's men, revealing a traitor among them who is leaking information to the game master. Aguni's men turn on Chishiya, but he sets them on fire. The surgeon is captured before she can reveal the killer's identity. Aguni gathers everyone and accuses a player of being the killer. However, the player confesses to killing Hatter, not the murdered girl. He explains that Hatter had become obsessed with the games and was willing to do anything to continue playing. He killed Hatter to protect him from himself and believes the game master is manipulating them. The surgeon confirms the player's claim, and the murdered girl's friend reveals herself as the dealer who communicates with the game master. A laser beam instantly kills her. A gunman opens fire on the players, but Aguni sacrifices himself by tackling the gunman into the flames, saving everyone. The remaining players burn the murdered girl's body, ending the game. The hotel is engulfed in flames. They are left with only the face cards to collect to escape. Arisu watches a recording of the murdered girl, who confirms her role as a game dealer responsible for making the games entertaining. She reveals that the beach is a location where game dealers gather after completing their tasks. Arisu and Usagi find the beach, a desolate area filled with corpses, including Chishiya. Chishiya shows them the paper he found earlier, a map leading to the Game Master. Suddenly, the lights go out, and they see a woman on a computer screen, a game executive working for the Game Master. She welcomes them and challenges them to collect the face cards. They exit the building and see a banner depicting the King of Spades being flown across the city. They encounter a group of players waiting for the next game. Suddenly, they are attacked by vehicles carrying players from the hotel. Arisu, Usagi, and their two companions take cover. Arisa tries to save a wounded player, but realizes he's already dead. Chishiya points to the sky, where airplanes are carrying banners with face cards. They realize they need to shoot down the plane carrying the Jack of Hearts. Arisa gives the wounded player's visa to Usagi, but the player miraculously revives. They are attacked by the King of Spades, who is wearing a bulletproof vest. They flee in a car, pursued by the King of Spades. Their car crashes, and they escape on foot. The surgeon is separated from the group. Arisu, Usagi, and their two remaining companions find refuge in an old building. Usagi ventures out to search for supplies, while the others look for a new vehicle. They find a car with the sun symbol on it. Arisu and Usagi find a marketplace and playfully pretend to be a shopkeeper and a customer. Usagi expresses her desire to work in a supermarket, while Arisa longs to return to his old life. Usagi, however, reveals her dissatisfaction with her past life and her reluctance to return. Arisa comforts her, promising to stay by her side. They reunite with their companions, who have found a new car. They observe airplanes carrying banners with face cards and realize they need to participate in another game to escape. Arisu explains that each game has a different master and that they need to defeat each master to win the game and potentially return to their world. They arrive at a location for a new game, the Game of Spades. They find bracelets and encounter a player who has won many games. He claims to be the fifth player they need, but they are hesitant to trust him. Usagi, realizing they have no other choice, puts on the bracelet and they enter the game. They meet the captain of the opposing team, who is naked and believes they should leave the game world the same way they entered it. The captain reveals himself to be a singer in his past life. He explains the rules of the game, which involves 3 triangles: metal, item, and base. The team with the most points wins. The captain can distribute 10,000 points among his team members, but each player must receive at least 100 points. The first round involves touching a player from the opposing team to steal their points. The second round involves finding boxes with buttons that award points. The third round involves touching a flower. If the opposing team touches their flower, they receive 10,000 points. If Arisa's team touches their flower, they receive infinite points and can steal points from the opposing team by touching them. The game begins, and Arisa distributes points among his team members. They find boxes and earn points. The opposing captain deduces Arisa's strategy and plans to attack their base, the flower. Arisa's friend, guarding the flower, accidentally touches it, gaining infinite points. However, he is killed by a laser beam when a player from the opposing team touches him. Arisu and his team search for more boxes to earn points, but the opposing team intercepts them. They lose the round and are left with few points. Usagi continues searching for boxes and finds one, earning points for her team. The opposing captain taunts Arisu, challenging his intelligence. The opposing team surrounds Arisu and his team. Arisu, realizing defeat is imminent, expresses his desire to shake hands with the opposing captain as a final request. The captain agrees, and Arisa shakes his hand, transferring all his points to the captain. The captain is surprised by the sudden influx of points. Meanwhile, Arisa's friend, who had removed his bracelet and given it to Arisu, dies from blood loss. Arisu, now with double the points, thanks his friend for his sacrifice. The captain, realizing Arisa's clever strategy, accepts his defeat with grace. A laser beam kills the captain and his team. Elsewhere in the city, another game is taking place in a prison. Players wear collars with symbols representing different suits of playing cards. They must identify the correct symbol on their collar each round, or their collar will explode. Chishiya participates in this game and befriends another player. They work together to survive, but Chishiya's friend is killed when he refuses to reveal his symbol. Chishiya deduces that the Jack of Hearts is the player who betrayed his friend. The game continues, and players are eliminated one by one. Only 6 players remain, including Chishiya. He seeks help from another player, who accuses Chishiya's remaining teammate of being a murderer. Chishiya's teammate, however, refuses to betray him. Elsewhere, a couple discusses the murderer, and the wife reveals that she knows who the Jack of Hearts is. She tries to warn Chishiya's teammate, but is ignored. Chishiya correctly identifies his symbol and survives the round. The Jack of Hearts is revealed to be the player who betrayed his friend. He is imprisoned, and Chishiya wins the game. A man records a message, lamenting the loss of life and the state of the world. He believes this world is not meant to be and expresses his desire for it to end. A woman, who knows the truth about this world, attempts to reveal it in a recording, but she is killed by the King of Spades before she can finish. Arisu and Usagi find the recording and are attacked by the King of Spades. Aguni rescues Arisu, revealing that he is still alive. He plans to lure the King of Spades into a trap and kill him. Aguni's companion shares her story of surviving a game in a stadium and undergoing a life-saving amputation. Usagi, lost in the forest, finds a house with a young boy inside. The boy's visa is about to expire. Aguni's team prepares to ambush the King of Spades, using Arisu as bait. However, Aguni arrives and shoots the King of Spades, who is wearing a bulletproof vest. A shootout ensues, and Aguni is severely wounded. Arisu escapes by jumping into the water. Aguni's companion saves him. Arisu wakes up hungry and searches for food in the deserted city. He finds food among the corpses in abandoned cars. The city is in ruins, with games taking place everywhere. It seems like years have passed since they first arrived. Usagi finds the young boy and brings him to the next game, a physical challenge. The game involves 2 teams, one led by a woman called the Queen of Spades, and the other led by Arisu and Usagi. The team with the most members at the end wins. Players can switch teams by touching a player on the back. The game begins, and the Queen of Spades team dominates. Arisu and Usagi's team dwindles to just 3 members. The Queen of Spades targets Arisu, wanting him on her team. Usagi fights back, urging players to join their team. Some players switch sides, and Usagi's team grows. Arisu confronts the Queen of Spades, asking if they can return to their world after winning all the games. She gives a cryptic answer, suggesting the truth might be difficult to accept. She hints at a future where social classes are eradicated and technology has advanced beyond imagination. She claims they are in a deep sleep, dreaming this game world. Arisu and Usagi are confused and disturbed. The Queen of Spades reveals herself to be a therapist, treating Arisu and Usagi for trauma after they witnessed the deaths of their friends in a car accident. Arisu and Usagi are shown in a mental institution being treated by the therapist. She urges them to wake up and accept reality. Usagi, however, insists they are still in the game. She cuts her hand to prove her point. Arisu, convinced, accepts the reality of the game. The therapist is saddened by their choice. They return to the game and defeat the Queen of Spades. She bids them farewell, hinting at a deeper truth about their identities. They win the final game, and fireworks erupt in the sky. They are given a choice to remain in the game world or return to their own. They choose to return. The scene shifts back to the beginning, where Arisu and his friends are about to be hit by a car. This time, it's not a car but a massive explosion that injures them. Arisu wakes up in a hospital, surrounded by his brother and other game players, including Aguni and Chishiya. The doctor explains that they all experienced a near-death experience, their hearts stopping for a minute, which transported them to the game world. They played the games to survive and return to life. In the final scene, Arisu meets Usagi outside the hospital. He feels like he's met her before, but she doesn't recognize him. They walk away, and a Joker card is shown lying on the ground. The story of Alice in Borderland ends, leaving the audience with a sense of mystery and the lingering question of what the Joker card represents.